We are moving into film season as well. Halifax Film Festival taking place. We'll have an interview with the artistic director a little later on in the week. But there's a Cape Breton connection to one of the films that will be presented between the 17th and the 24th online. It's called Citizen of Moria. And if you remember the documentary about the Gabarus seawall, Only 78, you'll remember Jawad Mir, who is a writer, editor, and producer. He was involved in that project. He's involved in this one, and he's on the line with us this afternoon. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Wendy, for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
I wanted to go back just for a second to Gabarus. Last week, we did a story about a brand new art gallery in that community, and there's a brand new restaurant that's come up. Have you been following that narrative as it's grown since you made that film?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm in touch with quite a few people still in Gabarus. We, in fact, talked yesterday as well, and I saw that article that you're talking about, and it was really good to see that things are progressing. A village which was once almost pretty much doomed, and now things are going in a completely other direction, so it's really good to see that. Now,
this particular show is about somebody who is in a very, very, very difficult situation.
Right.
And you take us there. Tell us about the man that you met and his story.
Sure. So I communicated with Ahmed Ibrahimi. He's an Afghani refugee living in Europe's largest refugee camp in Greece on Lesbos Island. And I was introduced to him through somebody, and we started chatting on WhatsApp, and it turned out that he was a filmmaker as well. And so we both collaborated together on this project as directors, and went on that journey and documenting his story, not just in the camp itself with hidden footage and all that, but at the same time talking about his personal story and what he left behind home and his family and his kids, it was a very, very riveting experience, and Ahmed did a remarkable job in working with me, and we really worked out to be a great team. But the issue for us, the biggest thing was highlighting this issue of a camp that is really taking a toll even on the locals at Lesbos Island. And in 2015 or 2016, I believe, Lesbos Island was nominated for Nobel Peace Prize because they really helped out a lot of refugees. But Europe has sort of left them stranded, and there's been a lot of animosity growing over the last few years, and now it's at a breaking point. So we were just making sure that we capture his story, but at the same time tell a story that is presented from as many sides as possible.
I know refugees come from all over, and
right.
Ahmed is from Afghanistan. He's under threat
Yeah.
but people are coming in from all directions. I think that's something that I thought was really interesting. It's not just one stream. There's a whole bunch of movement going on there.
That's correct. So there's it started off mainly after 2011, the Syrian war, and that's majority of the refugees, and the second largest group is Afghanistan because of what happened in post 9/11. And then there is pretty much from everywhere. There's even refugees from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, from African countries, from other Middle Eastern countries. So it's a very complicated situation, and that's what we sort of try to tackle in the film, but by at the same time giving it a very, very human story. You pretty much see the entire world of Moria, and you meet everybody through the eyes of Ahmed. And Ahmed being such a great human being and a fascinating character from a cinematic standpoint, it really played out really well from a film standpoint.
With all of these different communities, and I guess that was the thing that was really surprising. One would assume that refugee communities would be pretty homogenous, and they're not. And there are lots of different people, lots of different experiences. There's moments of great joy. There's moments of absolute horror. What was the most surprising thing for you?
The surprising and the shocking thing, which I sort of knew going in, when we went to Mytilene, the island of Lesbos, my team and I, and we went into the camp and the outskirts of the camp, and we met so many refugees, so many migrants. There's so many different terminologies to associate people with. But the biggest shocker for me was, and the heartbreaker was, seeing little kids who are, anywhere from age 0 to 19, and especially the little ones, the toddlers, just in their world, not knowing where they are, and they're not, in any way sad about it. They're just there, and that's their world. And that was the first main thing. And then the second biggest thing for me that I found out was we interviewed a family who was in the film. They have been migrating from 7 different countries for the last 10 years. And there are generations of people who actually grew up and who are born and they die in refugee camps. So it's a very big, there's 65 million refugees out there in the world. And it's a very big issue, and we're just trying to highlight a small part of it. But those two things for me were very, very heartbreaking.
When you show these to audiences, obviously people who come to your film would be people who have compassion for others, otherwise you wouldn't be there. But what are you hearing from people who see the film that surprises you, or that tells you whether you were successful or not?
Right. So the biggest thing for us from the very beginning was that we wanted to sort of tell a very objective story, and we made sure that we did that. And there were a lot of people who sort of told us that might not be a good idea. You might upset one and the other, and we just kind of stuck our grounds with that. And we didn't really make anybody look bad or anybody even better, but when we did that, and when we started showing the screenings of the film to different people, and the reaction has been, really, really amazing. I wasn't expecting, even Ahmed, we were both not expecting something like that. And people, whoever has seen it, they have loved it. And the one thing that sort of stands out in everybody who talks about the film is the grand story of refugees, but it's the Ahmed's character and how he navigates through this world, and how he wins the hearts of people, and some people he doesn't. But it's just that human story, that whether you know a refugee or not, it's more about a person's family and how he deals with it than anything else. And the refugee element is just part of the story to help us navigate through his character.
This show is going to be shown online. So even if this is the big difference in the Atlantic Film Festival this year, even if you're not in Halifax, you can see it.
That's actually a really good thing about it. I mean, when COVID broke out and the world has changed, it was kind of odd that how we were going to watch everything, from online. But when we found out that the entire East Coast is going to be able to watch it for a week-long time, they can select whatever time. And it was great because, now people don't have to come in, drive into Halifax to watch a movie or many films, and anything can be seen from all 4 provinces, basically, which is great.
Well, it's wonderful. So this is going to run between the 17th and the 24th online, and you can see it in Gabaroos if you want.
That's right.
Or anywhere you like. Well, thank you so much for being with us
problem.
today.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for having me. Appreciate it.
That's Jawad Mir, who is a writer, editor, and producer. His film is called Citizen of Moria.